Have you ever spent hours studying, like really convinced you got it down, only to wake up the next day and poof, most of it just gone?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling is so common.
It's super frustrating, right? And you're definitely not alone if that happens. So today we're doing a deep dive into this whole fascinating world of how our brains actually remember things and maybe more importantly, how we can stop forgetting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission really is to give you some genuine shortcuts, ways to be truly well-informed. Specifically, how to make knowledge, like new English words or grammar, not just stick, but become, well, unforgettable.
Yeah.
And our guide for this adventure is this incredible source, How to Remember Everything. Seriously, it's packed. Ancient techniques, modern brain science, the whole deal.
And what's really cool, I think, is that we're not just going to list what to do. We're looking at why these things work.
Oh, okay.
It's all about tapping into how your brain naturally wants to work instead of, fighting against its tendencies.
Okay, I like the sound of that. And seriously, get ready because we're going to uncover some genuinely surprising, maybe even kind of fun ways to hack your memory.
Definitely.
We're talking mental palaces, which sound amazing, bizarre stories, strategic timing, even the hidden powers of like sleep and teaching people.
Yeah.
This could really change how you learn.
It really could.
Okay, so first things first. Let's just face it. Forgetting isn't some kind of bug. It's actually a feature. Your brain kind of prefers to forget things.
That sounds counterintuitive, but yeah.
Think of your short-term memory less like a whiteboard and more like maybe a spotlight, real fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold a phone number there for a few seconds, sure, but unless you really focus your attention on it, that spotlight just moves on.
Right.
But your long-term memory, that's different. That's like this huge, sprawling library. It can store stuff for decades.
Yeah, potentially a lifetime.
So the challenge, and really the key, is getting info from that temporary spotlight into the permanent library. And that mostly needs two things: focused attention and smart repetition.
Exactly. Your brain has this natural culling process. It's designed to clear out what it thinks is unnecessary clutter.
Okay.
And there are a few main reasons why. One big one is just decay. Information fades if you don't use it. Think of footprints in the sand, right?
Yeah.
If you don't reinforce them, they just vanish.
Makes sense.
Then you've got interference. This is where new information, especially if it's similar to old stuff, can kind of push out or mess up the older memories.
Ah, like trying to remember affect versus effect.
Precisely. They interfere with each other unless you really practice telling them apart. But here's the secret weapon: emotional impact.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how you remember really embarrassing moments or super exciting ones, like crystal clear even years later?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Some things you wish you could forget.
Right. Well, that's emotion acting like a highlighter pen for your brain. Your amygdala, that's the emotion center. It basically flags information for deeper processing in the hippocampus. It tells your brain, hey, this is important, save this.
Wow, okay.
And that process massively boosts retention, which is just, how long and how well your brain hold on to stuff.
Yeah.
That's the goal here.
Retention. Got it.
And all this happens because of your neurons, the brain's wiring. They're constantly forming new connections, new neural pathways, strengthening this whole network every time you learn something.
So knowing why we forget, that actually gives us power, right? Where we can start making changes right away.
Yeah.
Like memory's a muscle. You got to exercise it. So first, repeat to remember. Don't just read a word once. Say it. Write it. Use it in a sentence. Even better, try explaining it to someone.
Active use is key.
Second, connect ideas. Your brain loves connections. Link new stuff to things you already know. Learning marine. Connect it to the ocean, fish, boats, whatever you already have in there.
Build on existing pathways.
And third, seriously, rest and reflect. Sleep is not optional for memory. That's when your brain does its filing, its organizing, it runs updates and consolidates what you learned.
Absolutely critical. Lack of restorative sleep just overwhelms the system.
Right. Information stays kind of Stuck. So, okay, we know why we forget. We have some basic principles. Now let's get into the really cool stuff. These powerful, sometimes kind of weird techniques to fight that forgetting curve.
Let's do it.
So, imagine this. What if your own home could become this, like, vivid mental map where everything you need to remember has its own funny, unforgettable little spot?
Sounds intriguing.
Welcome to the Memory Palace. It's ancient, it's powerful, and yeah, it can be delightfully bizarre. This goes way back to ancient Greece. There was this poet, Simonides of Chios.
Ah, the banquet story.
Exactly. After this tragic building collapse at a banquet, he could identify everyone who died just by remembering where they were sitting. Amazing, right?
Incredible spatial memory.
And that led to the method of loci. Loci being Latin for places.
And the genius of it is it's actually pretty simple to build one, but incredibly effective. Step 1. Choose a familiar place. Your house, your school, your daily commute route. Somewhere you know really, really well in your mind's eye. The details matter for your loci. The specific spots where you'll stash memories.
Okay, got my house in mind.
Good. Step 2. List what you need to remember. Let's say, for example, apple, guitar, dentist, elephant, and trophy. Random list.
Apple, guitar, dentist, elephant, trophy. Got it.
Okay? Step 3. Turn those words into really vivid, unusual images and place them in your mental house. Maybe a giant apple bouncing on your bed.
Huh. Okay.
A guitar playing rock music in your bathtub.
Nice.
A nervous dentist hiding behind your shower curtain.
Weird.
An elephant trying to squeeze into your fridge.
Crowded in there.
And a huge sparkling trophy, maybe representing success, floating above your kitchen table.
Okay, I can picture that. It's memorable.
Exactly. The key is strong visualization. Make the images clear, multisensory, and, yeah, often totally absurd. Why it works. Your brain is naturally brilliant at remembering places and stories, especially weird or funny ones. It forces an association between a known location, the anchor, and the new information. Plus, it really boosts your concentration and creative thinking.
So for English, like remembering irregular verbs.
Perfect example. Imagine a goat went to the moon. Picture it happening in your living room. That's go went.
Goat went to the moon.
Or a little robot bought candy at your kitchen sink.
Bye, mutt.
The sillier and more interactive, the better it sticks.
That's actually really cool. Our brains love stories and connections, don't they?
They're wired for it. Which brings us neatly to the next technique, the link and story method.
Okay.
This is where you connect items you need to remember using vivid, often crazy associations, and then you weave them into a little story. It makes information sticky and meaningful.
So less about places, more about narrative flow.
Exactly. Let's try it. Say you need to remember balloon, tiger, book, mountain, clock.
Okay, balloon, tiger, book, mountain, clock.
Now let's make an absurd story, like you're holding a giant red balloon.
Yeah.
Suddenly it pops, and out jumps a huge tiger. The tiger roars, maybe knocks over a big dusty book.
Okay.
The book falls open to a picture of a tall, snowy mountain.
Right.
You feel pulled into the picture, you start climbing the mountain. But halfway up, you hear this loud ticking sound. It's coming from a giant clock embedded in the rocks.
That's ridiculous, but I think I'd remember it.
See? It's strange, but it works. And think about English learning. You could use this for verbs. Maybe whisper, climb, spill.
Okay, whisper, climb, spill.
Your story. A little boy whispers a secret to his cat. The cat gets scared, runs, and climbs up a tall tree. But from the top branch, it accidentally spills a can of bright blue paint all over a sleeping dog below.
Oh, poor dog.
But yeah, I see how that connects them.
Or for grammar, practicing past continuous. I was walking in the park when I saw a poodle that was dancing the tango. Then it suddenly stopped because someone nearby was shouting about a lost wallet.
You're not just learning words in isolation anymore. Exactly. You're embedding them in a vivid, concrete scene. The story helps the grammar unfold, maybe with a funny twist in the plot. And remember the emotion thing. Adding humor or surprise activates more brain regions, making those neural pathways stronger. It just sticks better.
This is making so much sense. Okay, moving on. Well, what about when you have just a ton of information? It feels overwhelming.
Ah, yes. The information overload problem.
Think about phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
555-123-4567 is way easier than 555-123-4567. That's splitting it up. That's chunking, isn't it?
That's exactly it. Chunking is all about breaking down big loads of information into smaller, more meaningful groups or chunks. It helps your brain process things more efficiently so it doesn't get overloaded.
How does that work? Like beyond numbers?
Well, imagine trying to memorize 12 random words. Dog, apple, table, car, chair, banana, bus, cat, pear, sofa, train, orange. Kind of hard, right?
Yeah, my brain's already fuzzing out.
But what if you group them? Animals, dog, cat, fruit, apple, banana, pear, orange, furniture, table, chair, sofa, vehicles, dock, car, bus, train.
Ah, it's okay. Much easier. 4 groups instead of 12 things.
Right. Your brain naturally looks for patterns and creates these clusters of meaning. It gives you a framework to hang the information on.
And for English.
Super powerful for English. Instead of learning single words, learn collocations. Words that like to hang out together, like good at, interested in, make a decision, take a picture. Those are natural language chunks.
So learn phrases, not just words.
Yes. Or you can chunk grammar. Instead of learning every tense one by one, maybe group them by time. All the past tenses together, all the present, all the future. It gives your brain a logical structure.
Okay, so chunking helps organize information. What about making sure it stays organized, like forever?
Right, that's where the science of timing comes in. Spaced repetition.
I've heard of this. It involves that forgetting curve, right? Something about Hermann Ebbinghaus.
That's the guy. Over a century ago, he figured out this forgetting curve. It basically showed you can forget like half of what you learn within just 24 hours.
Wow, 50% in a day.
Yeah, and maybe up to 90% within a week if you don't review it at all. It's brutal.
Okay, so how does spaced repetition fight that?
The core idea is simple but brilliant. Review information at gradually increasing intervals. You want to catch the memory just before you're about to forget it.
Okay, so not reviewing every day.
Not necessarily. Maybe you learned enthusiastic on day 1, you review it quickly on day 2, then maybe again on day 4, then maybe day 8 you try using it, then day 15 you explain it. The gap gets bigger each time.
Because the memory is stronger each time.
Exactly. Each review reinforces it, strengthens those neural pathways.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite of cramming.
Ah, cramming. The student's curse.
Right. Cramming is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You pour tons in, but most of it just leaks right out. Spaced repetition helps patch the holes. It builds real long-term retention through consistency.
Are there tools for this? It sounds like it could get complicated to track.
Oh, definitely. Apps like Anki, Quizlet, Memrise, Brainscape, they're designed specifically for this. They automate the schedule, showing you things you struggle with more often. Makes it much easier.
Okay, memory palaces, stories, chunking, spaced repetition. Those are like the tactical tools. But you mentioned other factors too.
Beyond the techniques, there are these sort of fundamental pillars that support all memory. We call them the hidden superpowers. Your emotions, your focus, and your sleep.
Right, the unsung heroes. Let's unpack those.
Okay, first emotions. We touched on this, how it's like a highlighter, an emotional stimulus or trigger, good or bad, even something that makes you cringe, causes your brain to release chemicals. Think adrenaline, dopamine. These chemicals actually help strengthen the connections between neurons, making the memory stronger. So the tip is, make learning emotional. Connect words to personal stories. Watch movies that move you in English. Use humor. Don't just learn facts. Feel them.
Make it matter. Okay, what about focus?
Focus. Simple, but crucial. You cannot remember what you didn't properly notice in the first place.
Sure.
In today's world, with all the distractions, real concentration is almost a superpower in itself. Think of your attention like a flashlight. It can really only shine brightly on one thing at a time.
So multitasking is bad for memory.
Generally, yes. If you're multitasking or just not fully present and intentional with your learning, your brain just doesn't encode the information very well. So short, focused study sessions. Turn off notifications. Maybe try techniques like Pomodoro. Practice mindfulness. Be there when you learn.
Makes sense. And the last one, sleep.
Sleep. This one blows people's minds sometimes, but your brain does some of its most important memory work while you're asleep. It's not just resting, it's actively processing and storing information. It's running updates, organizing files.
Consolidating, right.
Exactly, consolidating. Different sleep stages do different things. REM sleep helps with skills. Slow wave sleep helps lock in facts, moving them to long-term storage. Just one night of bad sleep or significant fatigue can mess up your memory and focus the next day. Good sleep is truly restorative. It helps prevent interference between memories and keeps your natural circadian rhythm on track. So basic sleep hygiene, consistent schedule, avoid screens before bed. It's non-negotiable for learning.
Okay, so a quick check-in for everyone listening. Are you using emotion? Are you truly focusing? Are you getting enough quality sleep? These aren't just nice-to-haves. They're fundamental.
Well, absolutely game changers.
Right. So we've covered a lot of ground. How do we pull all these amazing ideas together specifically for learning English, making new words and grammar really stick for good?
Great question. Because often the way we're taught is, well, not ideal. Learning words just in isolation, like Apple word in my language, strips away all the richness.
Context.
Exactly. The context, the sound, the feeling, the connections. Your brain thrives on connection, not just direct translation.
So what's the fix?
First, make it personal. Learn a new word like overwhelmed. Don't just learn the definition. Ask yourself, when have I felt overwhelmed? How can I use this word to talk about my life? That makes it your word.
I like that. Make it mine.
You can use visual mapping for this. Write the word, add a synonym, an example sentence. Your translation, sure. But also an emotion it evokes, maybe a little drawing, and definitely a personal connection. That creates multiple memory hooks. It's like building a strong mnemonic for easier recall.
Okay, personal connection. What else?
Second, learn by phrase, not just by word. Think in chunks and collocations like native speakers do. Don't learn take, then care, then of. Learn the whole concrete unit. Take care of.
Like we talked about with chunking.
Precisely. Learn phrasal verbs like look forward to, idioms like bite the bullet, common daily phrases like how's it going. This builds fluency much faster and reinforces natural grammar patterns.
Got it. Phrases over single words.
Third, use your ears. Sound and memory are deeply linked. This is auditory repetition. Listen to English a lot. Record yourself speaking. Use rhythm, melody, songs. Try to copy the accent and intonation of native speakers. It's not just about sounding good. It embeds the sounds deeply into your memory. The more you hear and say a word, the stickier it becomes.
Hear it, say it, make it musical even.
Yeah. And fourth, we circle back again. Turn words into stories. That narrative power. Take, say, 5 new words you learned. Bicycle, forget, teacher, mountain, laugh. Weave them into a short, maybe vivid and silly story.
Like, my teacher wanted to ride her bicycle up the mountain, but she forgot the brakes. We had to laugh when she rolled all the way back down.
Perfect. It connects the words meaningfully and makes them much easier to recall.
So the big picture here is really about active engagement, isn't it? The deeper you connect with a word emotionally, visually, auditorily, personally, the better it sticks.
That's the core message. Deep processing equals strong memory.
Okay, but I feel like there was one more technique mentioned. Something about it being the ultimate memory trick.
Ah, yes. The perhaps surprising one. What if the absolute best way to remember something is to give it away?
Give it away. You mean teaching it.
Exactly. The teaching effect. It acts like a memory multiplier. When you have to explain something to someone else, even a pretend student, your brain goes through several powerful processes.
Okay, what happens?
First, Retrieval. You have to actively pull that information out of your own memory. That act of pulling strengthens the neural pathways significantly, more than just passively reading it again.
Makes sense. You have to find it first.
Second, organization. You can't just dump information on someone. You have to structure it logically, make it coherent so they can understand it. That forces you to organize it better in your own mind.
You have to make it make sense.
And third, articulation. The act of actually speaking it or writing it clearly forces you to confront what you really know versus what you think you know. It instantly highlights any gaps or fuzzy areas in your understanding.
That sounds like the Feynman technique I've heard about.
Very similar principles. Richard Feynman, the physicist, used it. Choose a concept. Teach it in the simplest terms possible, like to a child. Identify where you get stuck or use jargon. Those are your gaps. Then review the source material and simplify your explanation until it's crystal clear and easy.
So for English grammar, if I try to explain the present perfect versus past simple to my cat and I get confused,
Then you know exactly what you need to study more. You need to clarify it for yourself before you can articulate it. Your student, even if it's just your cat or a voice memo app, teaches you back by revealing where your understanding is weak. It creates new associations.
that's brilliant. Is there like a routine for this?
You could do a quick 10-minute routine, pick something you learned. 1, summarize the key point out loud. 2, explain it simply. 3, write down one example or a question about it. 4, if possible, actually share it with someone. 5, reflect what was hard to articulate. Where were the gaps?
10 minutes. That's doable. Wow. Teaching really does seem like it transforms studying from passive reception to active mastery.
It really does. It cements the knowledge in a very profound way.
Okay, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've really unpacked a lot about memory. The main takeaway for me seems to be that memory isn't this fixed thing we're born with. It's flexible, it's adaptable, and we actually have these powerful tools we can use to shape it. We've seen how making things visual, personal, bizarre even, with memory palaces and stories really helps. The importance of strategic review, chunking things down, spacing out practice, and not forgetting those foundations. Emotion focus, sleep,
And teaching.
and teaching, the ultimate hack. It all connects.
It really does. And maybe this raises a final thought, a question for everyone listening. If your brain is naturally wired to remember stories and emotions and connections, what's one new learning habit you could start, maybe even today, that makes knowledge not just stick in your head, but actually feel alive for you?
That's a great question.
Maybe just pick one thing we talked about, just one. Try building a tiny memory palace for 5 new words this week. Or try explaining a tricky grammar point out loud to yourself.
See how it feels.
Give it a try, yeah. One small change. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into making things unforgettable. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making that knowledge truly your own.